Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're working on this Tilly branded tiller. It's got a little Briggs on it. I'll say it's about a 3 horsepower. Already checked the code on it. It's a 1976 Briggs. So, probably has points. Anyway, it's a neat little machine. Little tiny guy. Got a piece of wood down there on my lift table so I don't scratch the bejeebus out of the paint. So it's got the always sketchy manual spark killer. Those are the ones you kind of step to the side and reach your finger out and hope that your shoes aren't wet. I don't know anything about it other than what you see. That muffler has probably seen better days. It's going to get a new one. We'll pop this air filter off. Usually it's either missing the foam or the foam is so old and crud that it turns to dust. So, oh yeah, that's one of those dusty ones. It's just a foam filter. Yeah, that's going to need a new one. And I've loosened the gas cap. I needed pliers to do it, so. Ooh. It's actually got fluid in it. What is it though? Yeah, this is a 4-stroke, so you don't mix the fuel. You use straight water and rust. Straight rusty water. That's definitely going to need to be flushed. It's a crazy slide choke. You can see you pull the choke slide out and it just blocks off an air inlet. It's a fun project. This isn't a customer's. This isn't. I don't even know if I'm going to resell it. I might get it running, get it operating, use it. Maybe I'll stick it on the front lawn with a sign hanging off of it for small engine repairs. Tilly. Alright, well, I'm going to get you in the stand and get the lift table pumped up so we're at working height and jump in. I know the recoil is a little bindy, so we're going to have to give that some attention, but let's see where this little project takes us. Well, we know we got to pull the cover off to look at that recoil starter anyway, so let's just get that out of the way. A few bolts. I got a pile of dirt in there. I'm going to dump that outside. Yeah, that's going to be a points coil. The recoil is sticky. Well, pull there's these two tabs here are retaining tabs. We'll pull those back a little bit. We'll put some light oil on there. Get it back to working order again. Spray a little oil in underneath it too, where it rubs against the cover. Got a hell of a coil gap. It's massive. Sure, governor sale. It's free here, but it was tight on the carburetor. The carb's going to come off anyways. It's going to get a good soaking. That muffler's going to have to come off. We're going to leave it on there for now. We're going to run in with that muffler on it, and then I'll end up replacing it I didn't even check for spark. I don't even know if it has spark. Let's get that recoil figured out. Well, if we get the recoil fixed, I'll pop it back on there. I'll just put a spark tester on it, see if it's got spark. That way I know if I got to get into the points or not. Yeah, let's do that. We got a screwdriver. I'm just going to gently lift these tabs away slightly from the starter. Just give it a little more room to operate. Okay, that's good. Get some oil in there. Yeah, just use penetrating oil, I think. Lube is the key. I like working on these older Briggs. Reminds me of my dad's equipment when he was doing all his gardening and stuff. I remember these old style carburetors with those slide chokes. I remember him using them and working on them. Oh, look at that. A little bit of oil. A little bit of penetrating oil. Cord's actually not in bad shape. It's getting a little frayed right down here at the end, but it's not crazy. I don't think there's a risk of it flying off of there right now, so we'll give there's a little hole in the end of this style starter clutch. Give it a little shot of penetrating oil in there. Help it along. The back side of this is a rather large piece underneath the screen, and that's actually the nut that holds the flywheel on too. So let's just we'll pop that cover on there just for fun. Let's see if we got any spark. I think this is bent up a little bit. It's not letting me get a nice straight shot on the starter. There we go. Put them 3 bolts back in. I'll put a spark tester on there and see what we got. Most of the decals are still on this. There's a Briggs factory decal here. For winter use 5W20 oil. For summer use SAE 30. Now we're not trying to start it, we just want to see if it's got a spark. If it doesn't have a spark, we'll be pulling that flywheel off. And checking the points. Okay. Spark tester installed. Looking in here, there's no spark. Starter works good though. It seems to have enough compression, so it's worth going forward with it. Leave that off because it's going to come off anyways. Pull those 3 bolts off again. If everything's in nice shape and everything seems to be working the way it should, well, I'm probably gonna paint this. I'll mask up all the existing decals and we'll mask it up. Everything that needs to be masked, we'll just paint it white again. The yellow actually looks like Cub Cadet yellow. What the hell they call that? Marigold color? Something like that. Might actually paint that too. It's got up here on this label. Where are you looking? This label here is actually wood grade. It's a deluxe model. So let's pop that flywheel. Quarter inch socket. Take those two little screws off. Love my cordless tools. Small engine stuff like this is great. Gotta watch though, I mean, we're dealing with very old equipment here. A lot of the stuff is seized, and with the power tools you don't really have a feel, you can't feel how tight something is. So I'll grab my fancy pants starter clutch removal socket. Pretty handy. That's a 7/8 socket that runs that. We'll see if I can just snap it off with just hand torque. I don't think they're supposed to be too tight. To be fair, I've got tools to hold this. Stand by. I gotta dig out a bunch of stuff out of a box. I'm gonna see if I've got the appropriate tool for holding that. So check that out. A friend of mine was a small engine mechanic for many years, and when he retired he kept all his tools for a long time actually, and then he found out that I did small engine stuff and asked me if I wanted some old stuff he had laying around. I'm like, okay. So he brings, I think probably 3 cardboard boxes full of stuff, specialty tools, some parts, some brand new parts in boxes, and this was in the set. So there's large, medium, and small holders, and a wrench, the same idea as that socket I've got. So what it does is you slide it on there, and it hooks in the fins of the flywheel, so you don't have a screwdriver jammed in them, and that usually breaks them. But this is designed to hold them securely, safely, so you can either use that socket or you can use this wrench here to snap that nut loose. I'm not going to mention your last name, but thank you very much, Danny. I appreciate it. Let's get those, put those to use. Let's see if I can crack that loose by hand. Possibly. Got my holder in there on the teeth. Yep, there we go. Beautiful. Worked like a charm. Just spin that off there. The flywheel, actually, I just saw it move. If you do take these apart, guys, you can actually pull this cover off and clean and grease all the bearings, the little ball bearings in there. But this shaft, it's important that you clean this with penetrating oil and leave a light film on it, because as rust and gunk builds up on here, it starts to get tight in here, and because this actually, that shaft snout goes all the way up in here. It's important to make sure that it's nice and free. So that's that. Pull the washer. Check out the key. The flywheel key looks good. It's in one piece. Pull our flywheel off. This cover here is a points cover, so underneath here there's a couple of screws here. Take that cover off and you'll find your points. Aluminum key. Not a steel key, aluminum key. I believe these covers say right on them, do not use a steel key. It says right in the cover. Well, this is needs a little bit of cleanup. I'm gonna grab a brush, a wire brush, and brush most of that stuff off. And we'll get you back once I get the cover off. I'm just gonna take those 2 screws off, pull the cover off after it's cleaned up. We'll get the camera back on. Alright, so I've got that cover off and we can have a look at the breaker points now. There is some corrosion on there. Any bit of corrosion on there will definitely give you grief, make them not work, and as well as oil. So they're not seized together, and you should be able to see when I open that up, that gap. Oh, that camera's doing a pretty good job. Yeah, so you should be able to see the gap. So what I'm going to do is going to open that gap, and I'm going to stick some of this emery paper in there. I'm just going to go back and forth and clean the surface. I probably have a set of breaker points for this, brand new. New old stock. The boxes are old and yellowed, and they were given to me by a guy who does a lot of push mowers, lawnmowers. A guy named Al. Thank you, Al. It's actually who I purchased this from, this whole unit. Ah, they were pretty crusty. They look okay now. So what I'm going to do now is right here, so this is your crankshaft, right here is in this little tube is a push rod, and the push rod opens and closes these. Sometimes if you pull this cover off and you see the points are stuck open, or they're hanging open, sometimes that little push rod will seize in there, so it pushes up and then the points stay open, they never close again. So we're going to turn this crank over and we're going to see, make sure that they open and close. Come on. There you go, closed. Open. Oh, the machine's actually turning. It's moving because I still have the belt on. I'm going to take the belt off right now. I don't want the machine to move. You know, eventually we're going to fire the thing up, and I don't want it to be go careening off the end of my table. So, all right, there we go. Get your reset again. Oops. Okay. It's normal direction of travel. Closed. Right there. They're closing and opening. Perfect. Alright. I don't see any oil in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back you out. I'm going to hit that with a blowgun. I'm going to blow all this out, blow the dust out of it. I'm going to clean that cover up a little bit better and put it back together. While it's off, I'm going to clean the edge of the flywheel here. Clean the magnet so I can get a nice accurate gap. We'll get that thrown back together. Put the starter back on it. We'll check for spark again. I really doubt it will run on rust water, but we're just going to at least check to see if there's got a spark. So hang on, we'll get that cleaned up, put it back together, and I'll fire the camera up before I get the cord pulled on the spark tester. Alright, I got it most of the way back together. I decided to set that coil gap while we're in there. Got the points cover back on, flywheels back on, the keys back in, and the nuts back on. So I've loosened these two screws. I was thinking maybe it might cause an issue, but no, they came right loose. We'll stick our business card in there. Making sure the magnet is right underneath the coil. Just let the coil drop down, let the magnet of the flywheel suck the coil back down to itself. Snug these up. These are very small screws, don't over torque these. You will break them off, then you're going to have a bad day. Roll our card out of there. Perfect. Gap is set exactly where it needs to be. That's roughly 10 thou. That'll do exactly what we need it to do. Let me put our screen back on. Turn it that way. There we go. Two little screws hold that on. Nice, that's good. Again, just small little screws, no need to be strong arming the thing. Pop that recoil back on there. Oh, I did put penetrator oil in there. Nice and free now. This is working now. Be very happy if it's got spark. Cover didn't sit right under the, there's a tab on the other side, the cover didn't sit right on it. Tab has to go under the cover, but it ended up on top. Come on now, go in your home. Okay, that's good. That's good. One more here. Get them snug down. Got our spark tester back in there. Okay. Let's see what we got. Easy now. Slowly. Okay, watch in there. Watching that little bulb. Let's see. Survey says. Oh, no spark. Well, that didn't work. We'll take it apart again. Might need a coil. Maybe the points still aren't 100%. Might need a condenser. We'll pop it apart again, and I'll get some exploratory done, and I'll get back to you and let you know what I find. Okay, so I pulled the recoil off, pulled the screen off, pulled the clutch off, pulled the washer off, pulled the flywheel off, pulled the points cover off, and I sanded the points some more. And then I put the points cover on, and then the flywheel on, and then the key on, and then the clutch on, and then the screen on, and then the recoil on, but I didn't put any bolts in it yet. So, watch the magic light bulb. Let's see if we got some sparky. Ready? Oh yeah. We got spark. We have spark. Now to get the rust water out. Betcha she'll run. Hey, betcha she'll run. Let's get it figured out. I'll get taking the plug out. I'm going to squirt some gas down the top. We'll see if we can make this old sucker blow smoke. Alright, so let's throw a little squirt of gas down that spark plug hole and see what happens. Using a 50-to-1 mix in that little bottle there. There's a little bit of oil. Okay. Ready? Let's see if she fires. Well, we know it will run. One more time. Gotta do it one more time. Another squirt. Beautiful. Now we're going to pull the tank off, clean all that crap out of there, and pull the carb apart. I'll probably just soak the whole thing in the ultrasonic cleaner, let it work itself out, and we'll see if she runs. Okay, so I pulled the tank out to clean that out with penetrating oil first, and then some brake clean, or blowgun to blow it out. Took the carburetor off, threw in the ultrasonic cleaner, let that run for a bit. So let's see what happens. I'm going to put a little dribble of fuel down the carb first. And choke it. Let's see what happens. Oh, fired the first pull there. Well, we got gas leaking everywhere. I think it's out of here. Let's see what happens anyways. Okay. I don't know. Could have lost spark. I'll tell you, that muffler is damn loud. I know there is oil in it. Let's check for spark. It sounds like just somebody reached over and shut it off, so could have lost spark. If it did, I'm probably going to be into a set of points. Not sure yet. Yeah, no spark. Well, we know it's runnable. Huh. That's alright. Seemed to be working okay. It was running alright. I just had to lean it out a little bit on the main jet. I'll have to get a muffler. Huh. I'll pull it apart again and I'll check the spark. Check the points and see what's going on there. We got spark again. Took it apart, cleaned the points again. Yeah, we got spark again. Let's see. There we go. Beautiful. I set the RPM at 3,400. It's a little fluttery, but it's also not under a load. It runs pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm going to change the muffler out. We'll clean it up and paint it probably, and well, we'll pressure wash it, get it ready to go, and yeah, but not bad. Set of points. Clean them a few times to get them to run, but it actually needs a set of points, and the points cover, that little aluminum cover that gets in there, it's actually, for some reason, I got worn through, so I'm sure dirt and stuff's going to get in there, and it's probably going to lose spark again, so I'm going to have to source one of those covers. And need a little project. Alright, we're going to cut this one off here and see what it looks like after it's all washed up.